How's it going, everybody? Josh Rosales here of the Break Thru podcast, and I am extremely excited and honored to have with us this evening Delana and Melissa, co-owners of Bailout. If you're not following on Instagram, social media, make sure that you are following them. We're going to have some great discussion on a few topics of interest, and of course, it's going to be health, and it's going to be fitness, and it'll be mentorship, going to be like mindset. I met Delana and Melissa while back at the Music City Fit Expo, and they're doing incredible things, doing a lot more now than probably they were doing, and they were doing a lot then. So I'm really excited to dig into the topics and discussion, conversation on everything that is transpiring and their passion, what brought them together, and then what they're doing currently. So Delana, Melissa, thank you so much for taking time to join me on the Break Thru podcast, where we really want to challenge entrepreneurs and individuals to really break through their mindset. A lot of people, I hear it, you probably hear it too, is like 90% of what stops us is in our mind. If we can get our mind going, then of course 10% of our body will follow. That first step that everybody has a hard time with. And so with that out of the way, thank you so much for accepting my offer to come on the Break Thru podcast. And how y'all doing today?
Good. Very good. Doing really well. Thanks.
That is incredible. Well, I want to dive in here and Bailout. If you wouldn't mind, you can introduce yourselves more if you want, but I'd like for those that are listening and those that are watching to kind of hear where Bailout came from. How did y'all come together? The passions, the drive that you have to change people's lives. I know there's just a lot, but I know on your Instagram, what caught my eyes was you said it has on there, do you need a bailout from the prison of weakness and insecurity? And I think that's what a lot of people like. It is a prison. It feels like a prison, and there is insecurity there. So if you could talk a little bit about that, but taking us back to the beginning, where y'all met, where Bailout came from, your passions, desires to help people win.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in order to get to the point where we talk about a prison of weakness and insecurity, we'll talk about how we met and how we came together first, and then we'll touch on that.
Definitely.
So I moved to Nashville from Michigan, from the Grand Rapids area, in January of 2018. And Melissa had been here since
September of 18. Mm-hmm. So I also moved here from, South Bend, but I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan as well, which is very odd. We did not know each other in Grand Rapids. We're both from the same area of Michigan, did not know each other in Michigan. Connected here in Nashville over a Nashville girls group on Facebook, actually.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. We just kind of saw that we had mutual friends, saw that we were both very well involved in the music industry, both very active in the music industry, knew a lot of the same bands, hung out with a lot of the same bands, So that's really our initial connection, was through music and through Michigan.
Right. And then, Melissa and I had a lot in common, not only, from a music standpoint, but from a fitness standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I had always been involved in physical fitness type of stuff since I was a kid. I played basketball in high school, and I ran track, and in college I played basketball. And so physical fitness has always been a really important part of my life. But one of the things that I really enjoy doing is lifting weights. It's like my favorite form of exercise. And so when I met Melissa had also had a background in physical fitness.
Many years, probably I'd say about 20 years now. Mine goes back to the beginning of college, where I started my fitness career at University of Michigan. I started working a work-study job there while I was going to school there. So I got my foot in the door at the gym. I started working at the gym. I started working as a supervisor at the gym. I started working with pro athletes at the gym. So that's kind of where my passion for fitness came from, is actually helping people and motivating people from the inside of the gym.
Mm-hmm. And so when we met, it was before the pandemic hit, and she and I are we're both very ambitious. We have we're both go-getters, right? We both have like a entrepreneurial mindset.
Like you, we both come from the banking world.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So I've been involved in banking. Actually, has been my day job for a long time. But anyway, so we had a lot in common in that regard. And then we were involved. We actually both had gotten involved in like an MLM company, but then the pandemic like came about, and then we noticed like just the effect that was having on people not being when, and it wasn't so bad in Nashville. It wasn't so bad because not everything shut down, but we have tons of friends in Michigan, and Michigan everything shut down, and like they couldn't go to the gym, they couldn't do the things they wanted to do. And so we started a Facebook group actually called Body Bailout, with just kind of the intention of like helping some of our friends through fitness. We would teach some fitness classes online, and give them nutrition advice and things like that.
Recipes. We have our own little like kitchen section where we post like healthy recipes.
Right.
We did workouts like HIIT, cardio, kickboxing, yoga. Like a couple nights a week, we would just like jump on a Zoom and teach girls in Michigan like different fitness classes, because they didn't have the luxury of being able to go to the gym.
Right.
So it was a way to connect with like our family and our friends, and also get healthy at the same time.
And then we thought, well, why not? This is something that we both love so much. We both love trying to help others in this regard. And then we wanted to be able to like help, like really, for me, during the pandemic, it became really front of mind. Just because, things that I'd never thought about before, things that I'd never put a lot of focus on, as far as like, just big pharma and things like that. I'm not going to go into any crazy kind of conspiracy stuff, but anyway, just things that I'd never really put any focus on. It really started to drive home. Like I want to be healthy for the long term. I want my friends and family to be healthy for the long term. And so we really started thinking about what we could do to like turn this thing that we love also into a business. And so that's when we actually turned Body Bailout into a business. We started really with just some like health supplements, vitamins, and things like that we were selling online. We turned it into, since then we have skincare. We have like clean skincare. We also have some makeup. We have shirts. We have fitness apparel and accessories.
Fitness journals, jewelry. Now we just launched some jewelry.
Yeah,
the jewelry is going over fantastic. Like as soon as we put it back on our site, it's gone very quickly. So
that's kind of how we came about. So we started actually November of 2021 was when we actually launched our business.
Black Friday.
Yeah, it was Black Friday, and have been going ever since. But the thing about bailing you out of a prison of weakness and insecurity, I just kind of, as a younger woman, I struggled a lot with self-esteem and some depression issues and bipolar. Actually, I was diagnosed with bipolar, and I found that lifting weights and being in the gym and trying to do things to take better care of myself, that really affected me. It improved my symptoms and it improved my depression and things like that. And so I really, and I know Melissa has had certain, not a similar story, but I mean, you've dealt with similar type of issues. And
I was diagnosed with epilepsy at a young age, and I don't take any type of pharmaceutical drugs or anything for it. Fitness is my way of life and my way of curing epilepsy. I truly just cure. I don't have any seizures, anything, just by working out, eating clean, exercising, and diet is the key to everything. Like I literally take no pharmaceutical medication whatsoever.
So
it's crazy. I was talking to somebody, I was probably a month ago, and we were talking about the pharmaceuticals, and they were kind of enlightening me on how before like pharmaceuticals, like all the health remedies and everything, like it was like people were a lot healthier, people lived a
Mhm.
lot longer, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like pharmaceutical gets bigger, the medication for this, medication for that. Hey, take a pill for
Yup.
this and for that, and then all of a sudden, like life expectancies, I think, are getting shorter now, and it's just like, oh, just take a pill when it's
Yeah.
really the pill really doesn't help.
Just
It's you're not.
masking it.
Yes, and I was just like, you know what? That is so crazy. Because when you stop and you start looking at that, and you're like, you know what? That is so true. Back in the day, it was like my grandparents lived to be like in their 90s, and it's like, it's just it's just insane. There's a lot of truth in that, what you're saying.
Yeah, and so we really wanted to take it and expand that. We wanted to encourage people to get fit, right, and healthy, and like start supplementing. Maybe if they want to try and get away from being, a slave to a life of medication, then we can encourage you to. We wanted to encourage you to work out and like take supplements and do things to like increase your fitness. But that when you do that as well, that also it changes your mindset. When you focus on getting fit, when you focus on getting in the gym and developing that strength, it not only changes you physically, it starts to change you mentally. And so that's what,
Discipline.
yeah. And so that's
So you're
what
working
the
on
whole,
the whole body. You're working on the whole body. So it's like, okay, somebody comes to you, hey, I want to lose weight. Okay, we can work on that.
Mhm.
Somebody comes to you, say, hey, I'm really battling depression. Let's
Yeah.
work on
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Let's diabetes. Let's work on that. So it's more of a holistic, not
We
just like,
do
oh
have
yeah, we're
supplements for all of that. We have supplements for
yeah.
like anxiety. We have supplements for blood sugar. We have supplements for diabetes. And all of our supplements are clean ingredient supplements. So we use a lot of plant-based ingredients, a lot of like deer antler powder, beetroot powder, lots of just natural ingredients, not any of those chemical ingredients that you're going to find in vitamins that are on the shelf at the store. So we do carry your natural vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin C,
Mhm.
immunity boosters. We carry your everyday supplements as well. And our prices are much better than your actual grocery store prices too. And you know what you're getting when you buy our supplements. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do people go to you? What's your website?
Just bodybailout.com.
Bodybailout.com. I
That's it.
am let me see here. Because your website, bodybailout.com. Let's see here. You mind if I pull it up real quick?
No,
No,
go
go
for it.
for it.
I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna show everybody. Um, okay, cool. There we go. Can you see it?
There
Yeah,
it is.
that's it.
Okay, sweet. So this is it. So those of you that are watching and listening, you can go to bodybailout.com. A lot of great stuff on here. Just like Delana and Melissa was talking about. So you want to talk to people about your website and what they
Yeah.
can do, and yeah, go for it. So you got
Yeah, so you can see
supplements.
there from the menu, we've got you've got a section for supplements, section for apparel and accessories. So the necklaces and the journals that Melissa was just talking about are in that
Supplements,
section.
we also carry like sports supplements. We have like your pre-workout that contains creatine. We have a pre-workout that doesn't have creatine. We have your BCAAs. Um, we have like your fat burners.
Mhm.
We have your ashwagandha, apple cider vinegar. The good thing about
Now,
our pre-workouts also, they're backed by green tea extract. So the caffeine comes from a green tea extract. So it's a clean caffeine. So there's no jitters, no like crazy shakes or anything when you take our pre-workout.
that is incredible. Now, apple cider vinegar. My mom is really a believer in that. I mean, she puts apple cider vinegar in her water. She puts
Yeah.
it like on her body.
Mhm.
I mean, she puts all the time. It's like, man, she carries that. She carries it around just constantly.
It is,
Yeah.
it's really good for a lot of things. It's really good for your digestive system.
Yes. Yeah, and the great thing about our apple cider vinegar is it's in gummy form, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you've got to put it in water and
It
let
is harsh to drink it.
Yeah, it is a little harsh to drink it, but it tastes good in the gummy form.
Yeah, much better. We also have
That
like
is
your
incredible.
probiotics too, like all of that type of stuff
Mhm.
that you might need.
Probiotics. What's the benefit of probiotics?
God hell.
Oh, there's so many.
Everything, huh?
Digestive health is one of the biggest things for a probiotic. As you age, your digestive system can't digest the foods that you used to be able to digest when you were younger. So it might be harder for you to eat certain things. A probiotic is going to help you with that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Man, that website, I was looking at it earlier before the podcast, and man, you can find everything on there.
Yeah, you sure can.
Body
We have a little bit
body
of everything.
bailout.
And we're adding to it
Bodybailout.com.
all the time. We're going to have a men's line coming out soon.
Yep.
It's going to have some beard oils. It's going to have some like shampoos, all different kinds of things. We already have
That
our
is
organic
awesome.
and natural soaps that are a pretty big hit.
Mhm.
So what has Body Bailout and both of you, since the last time we met each other at the Music City Fit Expo until now, like how's your business grown? Like how is it being a business owner? What are some challenges that you're facing? Some successes? Um,
Ooh, all right. So I would say probably the biggest thing that's happened since we met with you for Music City Fit Expo, after we did that show, right after we did that expo, we did the Nashville Fit
Yep,
Show, which
we did
is
the
a
Fit Show.
all women's NPC bodybuilding show, NPC and IFBB.
I want to say there was probably close to 2,000 girls there, if I had to guess.
wow.
It was incredible. The event went till almost midnight.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And it was
And that was Whitney's, right?
That was Whitney's show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
Whitney
biggest
won.
one in Tennessee. Yeah.
and one of the only there's only a handful of all women shows too, and so this is one of the only all women shows in the nation, and so we did really
did.
well at that show.
We did. We had a
And
commercial playing throughout the entire show. It was really cool.
and we had a lot of ladies in the bodybuilding industry then who just came up and talked to us and bought our products and like took interest in our company and what we were doing and
Became ambassadors afterwards. So we have a great ambassador program. Our ambassadors get 10% off of all of their products they buy themselves. Anybody who uses their code gets they get 15%. So, and that's just cash.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. So we have a great selection of ambassadors. I think we're up to like 36 right
Yeah.
now. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
and then
And they're so into health and fitness that they just I couldn't see them like, well, let me think about it. No, this is what they're doing. So I
Oh,
could
yeah.
just see them buying. Yeah.
yeah, and so after that we did a show in
Dalton, Georgia.
Georgia.
We did the Southern Muscle Showdown with Steve Payne.
And we actually ended
We
up
met
meeting
Becca and Alan
Becca and
Sizemore
Alan
there.
Sizemore. And so they're the head of they run the NPC Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And so
we then did Chattanooga from there with Becca and Alan.
yeah, and then we got in with Wings of Strength, which is one of the largest bodybuilding promoters of shows.
They're like
in the
side
world.
by side with Olympia. They work all with Olympia. So that's what we did in Arizona. We went out with Wings of Strength to Arizona.
Yeah, that was a NPC women's conference out there.
So let me ask y'all. Let me ask you this, because I believe personally that networking either makes or breaks you.
Oh, for sure.
And so, like, if you're not networking and you have a business and you're wondering why your business is maybe not where it needs to be, or that maybe it's declining, if you really look at your networking and how you're networking, because I really feel like I go by this equation, A times E equals R. So the activity times effectiveness equals your results. So it's like if the results aren't there, you backing into the equation of, am I being effective at the activity, or is the activity the right activity? And it's like, if you're really doing the right activity and you're really putting focus on it and effort into it, like the outcome is going to be what you want. And so I tell people so much, they're like, Josh, like you know a lot of people. And it's like, it's not that I know a lot of people, it's just that I want to network with as many people as I can, because everybody has a story, and you never know what that one conversation, that one connection, you're only one connection and one conversation away from something like blowing up. And it's
100% correct.
Incredible. It's incredible what networking will do for someone.
And we have been like firsthand experienced that, like like our biggest success actually came from a message that came to our website. Like they had saw us at the Nashville Fit Show and reached out to us and invited us to the Wings of Strength event in Phoenix. And that really opened up a lot of doors, because that opened up some opportunities for us to sponsor some really big shows later on in the year that are going to be really big for us.
That is incredible. And that goes for you know, a lot of times there's networking for those of you that are listening and watching. There's networking, and then I also have found for myself that when I get to a point where it's not about me, and it's like let me network others together, let me
Yeah.
connect others
Yeah.
together, it always comes back to me.
Yep.
And a lot of times it's you got to get to that point as a business owner or an entrepreneur, or any just networking in general, that when you connect others and network others together, it always comes back to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a science. Networking is a science. Building a business is a science. It's crazy. You're learning every day. You fail forward. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, how, let me, okay, that didn't work out. Let me learn from it. And then let me make the corrections, and then let's keep going. Let's not stop.
Absolutely. You're gonna fail. We've screwed up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot. But you know, we figure it out. We learn from, you know, things that we're doing wrong. We figure out what we can take from it, and how to keep pushing forward, and we just keep going forward, you know.
Awesome. So where do you see Body Bailout in the next 3 years?
Hopefully we have some sort of little studio where we can actually display like our products, and actually have like a little fitness studio where we can have some like in-house like training and fitness classes going on too.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
We'd love to
Okay.
do that.
Word of encouragement to those that are listening, those that are watching, entrepreneurs, or just anyone. Maybe they feel like giving up. Maybe they feel like, hey, it's this journey's too hard. The process is too tough. What's your word of encouragement to them?
Never give up. Like even it, like especially when you really feel like you want to give up, that's the time where you really need to just break through and just keep going. Um, it's not an easy journey. If it was easy, everybody would do it. You just have to fight for what you really want. If it's something that you really, really deep down want, then go after it. Don't give up. Time, it takes a lot of time. I mean, we're nowhere near where we really want to be, you know, but
Right.
we're not going to give up, because this is more of a passion to us. It's not just a dream, it's more of a passion. Like we're passionate about helping people like get to where they want to be as well. It's not even just about us and what we want, it's about what we want for other people too. So you have to look at like the long-term goals of it too. Look at what you're doing in the future too, not just what you're doing at the moment.
And where
I
you
would,
are right now is not where you want to be, but you turn and you look back and you're like, wow, we've come a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And you may get this idea in your head, like you think that you're going to go in one path in one direction, and then you know, you, like you were saying, you know, you may fail, you may do something, or there may be a roadblock, and you may end up taking a completely different path than what you initially intended, but you just got to keep, you know, going with it and keep pushing forward. So
Someone said never change the goal, but you always gotta be tweaking the business plan.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Business plan's
And
always being tweaked.
and never stay in your comfort zone. Like a lot of these things that we do have been unnatural and uncomfortable for us. You know, it's not things that we have always done. So getting out there and speaking to other people in the industry, you know, like it's just, you just have to break out of your shell and do it. You know, we get better and better at it every time. You know, it's not something that is just going to come natural to you at the beginning. You know, you just have to keep working at it and practicing, you know, like
It's never going to be perfect either.
no.
It's always going to be messy. It's never going to be perfect. If you're waiting for it to be perfect, you're going to be waiting forever. You just got to like jump in and just start making stuff happen.
That is so true. For those of you that are watching and listening, I'm talking with Delana and Melissa, co-owners of Body Bailout. And so we're having a great discussion. Okay, so this is transition a little bit. I'm going to throw some words out there. You tell me the first thing that comes to mind. We can take some time to talk about it, but we'll go through as many as we can. So um, The first word is average.
Did you say a person that comes to mind, or like, are you just
The
like the
first word that comes to mind.
First
So I'm gonna
thing
throw
that
the word
comes
out there is average.
average.
meh.
I think of
So
like settling.
Yeah.
Like I think of like you're just settling for average and you're not going for above, like, and I
mhm.
don't settle for
Mm-mm.
average.
No.
You know, I was talking to somebody, especially being in the banking industry, and in the banking industry, that's really all I know. I've been in the banking industry since I was like 23, 24 years old, and it's all I know. But it seems like in the banking industry, and I think it's like across the board, and I think probably society now is as a whole is that we are so used to celebrating average as above average, and because people are average, and it's so hard to find people with work ethic and people that
Yes.
are like stellar, that you know I look back at my era, Gen X, and I look at my parents, and it was just like they worked so hard, they put everything into it, like
Mhm.
it was. And I see nowadays, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that, in the bank is like, okay, we need to hire somebody. Oh, let's just go grab somebody from Indeed and like just stick them in the bank, and and they're going
Best
to
Buy.
work. And as long as they show up, then that's great. Oh, you did a great job. High five. It's like, why do we celebrate average so much? It's like our society
Yes.
now is we celebrate average as like it's above average, or they did some incredible feat. And it was just like, what did you do? You didn't
Everybody
do
gets a
any.
I
participation
was just gonna
trophy.
say it's the
Yes.
participation trophy
I'm
syndrome.
like,
Yeah.
that like irritates me to no end. Is like, I tell my kids, don't be average.
Yes.
Don't settle for average.
Don't settle for average.
Grant Cardone says, he says something that was very profound when it comes to what his definition of success is. And his definition was the difference between your potential and your reality. So it's like your reality where you are right now, but the potential of what you can do. Like every day, you need to be working the gap. I tell people, like, you got to be working the gap. Like, I got to be better today. I got to be better than I was yesterday.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, I need to be better than I was today. And to live a life of purpose and intent is very, very, very important, because like everything that we do should be intentional, right? It's like
Yeah.
every day, it's like tomorrow, can I look back at today and I can be like, you know what? I actually did something. I listened to an audiobook, or I watched a YouTube video, or it was something that I did to benefit me and self-develop me or help somebody else. And it's like, I think that just gets lost in the equation in society today.
Yes.
Is like people just settle for average.
Yeah.
That's a good point there. We actually made a fitness journal that's actually for sale on our website. And we have like words of affirmation and everything at the very bottom, where you say positive things that happened in your day. Every day, say something positive about yourself. What went well, what didn't, what can you change to make that better? So we have like a journal that you can reflect in every single day, and actually make yourself more positive and talk to yourself more positive just by sharing some positive words to yourself every night. Like I use my journal every single day. Like I usually do my like positive affirmation in the morning, because that like starts my day positive and that keeps my day going positive all day. You could do it at night. That might help better for some people, but I feel like in the morning it really helps me. Like I sit down for like 5-10 minutes in the morning and I reflect on maybe what happened yesterday, what went well yesterday, what can I change, and always say something nice about myself every single day. And I write those down every single day. And I feel like it really helps keep me in a positive mindset for the rest of the day. And that helps me be above average person, like it helps me with my coworkers, helps me with my business partner, it helps everywhere.
And I
Definitely.
think
I mean,
it really is um mindset matters, right? Mindset really
Yeah,
is everything.
it is.
From developing that attitude of gratitude, like Melissa was talking about, if you like start your day out with that, and you talk to yourself positively, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. But another thing is too, for us, we're Christians, we're believers, and I think as a child of God, I always try to like remember that it does not serve anyone for us to play small, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't serve anyone. You're not serving anybody by playing small, especially as a child of God, right? So, you know, there's just things that you've got to keep in mind all the time, because that mindset is critical to developing, just being a success in a lot of ways, or just to have a winning
It's a
attitude.
gift.
Yeah.
It's honestly a gift that we're like given, that we're just giving back and sharing with others, you know, like we were given this gift and we're using our gift to provide services for others that don't have that gift.
You're absolutely right. Mindset is everything. You know, I started, I used to do it. I do it, but I wasn't consistent at it. And I think the name of the game is consistency.
Absolutely.
And
That's where
so,
discipline comes in.
yeah, yeah. So it was like it was like November, December. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start journaling every day and every morning. And so I wake up and I journal, I'll read, I have my devotion, and I'll have a devotional plan that I go through for about 15 minutes, and then I'll journal on that for 15 minutes, and then I'll read a book. I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People for the
Yeah.
third time now. And so I'm reading that and then journaling through that. So it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to do that. But it's crazy because the mindset when I'm heading to work, and I know that for me to pour into others, I have to be poured into myself. And so how can you pour from an empty cup? And
Yeah.
it's so important. And I see for myself that, like, when I'm driving to work, I'll get people that try to give me a call, and I'm like, you know what? I'll spend 30 minutes with this person and it's just going to talk about nothing. And it's like,
Yeah.
when I
It's
go to
draining
work,
energy.
yes,
Mhm.
people drain the energy from you. And like, we have to be intentional and to protect that, because
Yes.
Yeah.
when I show up to work, I want to be on my A game, and I can't show up to work. And there's been a few times where I'll show up to work and I talk to somebody, and I'm just like, get to work and I'm like, I just feel drained, and my
Yeah.
whole day is just, I mean, I have to say, you know what? I choose. It's not about the action, but the reaction. So I have to say, okay, let me get on point here, because I'm not going to allow this to dictate my day. But it's crazy. It's harder when you're not on point in the beginning of your day, when you allow other distractions to come into play. Man, we're having church.
Second service
Pass the
today.
offering
I love
plate.
it.
Pass
We
the
are a
offering plate.
faith-based company, though, so you will notice a lot of our things are faith-based. We have like the She Is Strong, the necklace
the
that I
necklace.
actually have on too. Like, this is our She Is Strong necklace. We have our journal that says iron sharpens iron on it. We have a lot of biblical things incorporated in our business.
Yeah, we the Proverbs 31 woman, right? We like refer to her in a lot of things that we do. So yeah.
Yeah, and especially, yeah, it's crazy. You know, I have family that don't believe in God, and I'm just like, to me, like, everyone, I mean, you do you, right? But for me, I'm like, it's 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 to me, it's sad, where it's like, who do I go to if I don't believe in God? Who do I turn to
Mhm.
when I'm in a circumstance or situation? Like, I'm glad, whether God is real or not real, like, I believe God is real, because when it comes to that end of the road, like, I rather err on the side of saying, you know what, I believe God is real and I'm going to
Yeah.
meet him one day, than
Mhm.
be like, well, I don't believe he's real. And then it's like, okay, well, oh, you are real.
Yeah.
And then
It's
what?
like, so I
Oops.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm just, I mean, I think faith has to play such a important role in our business and in our
It,
lives. And yeah,
it
it's the
does too. I mean,
foundation.
we oftentimes I mean, we're on text or phone all day long, basically every day. But you know, there are things that we'll be stumped about or whatever, and we'll just be like, "Hey, you know what? Let's spend some time in prayer about this."
Yeah.
We pray together about a
Exactly.
lot of stuff, you know, because you know, there are sometimes we're just not sure, like, what's the best thing for us to do, which direction do we take here, what do we do, you know, and so we
Yeah,
do go to God for guidance for
gotta
those sorts
pray.
of things.
Yeah. Okay, second word, excellence. What comes to your mind when you hear the word excellence?
Excellence.
Why are word association games hard?
So, so I heard this, and you probably heard this too. It's like excellence. I've heard some people equate that to like perfection, but I think excellence is a journey. It's like you don't practice doesn't make you perfect. Practice makes you better. So
Yeah.
I think excellence is the end destination of like, okay, I want to be excellent, but along the way, I may never be excellent, but I always want to be better than what I was because I'm constantly practicing my skill set.
I like that. Yeah.
I answered it for you.
Yeah, you did.
You answered it very well.
I like it.
I
Hey,
like
how
to
about
be
teamwork?
excellent, but
How about teamwork?
I mean, everything I think has to be done in teamwork. Like there's
Yeah.
no like they say there's no I in team, like no I in team. It needs to be teamwork. Like everything we do is teamwork. Like we consult with each other in everything that we do.
Mhm.
And in order for a business and a partnership to work, you have to have that open communication and that teamwork together. Sometimes it may not be what the other person wants to hear, but it's the right thing, Like
Hmm.
sometimes there's
Exactly.
uncomfortable conversations, but
Yeah.
that's what being a team is, like the good, bad, and ugly. It's all of it.
Mhm.
It's just
You
how
know,
you choose to communicate and how you choose to work as a team,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. This is off topic, but how does mentorship play between your business relationships and then just as your business as a whole? And like, how has mentorship played into all that? Maybe it's outside mentorship. Y'all have someone that's a mentor to you. How important is mentorship to somebody that is an entrepreneur um,
I
along this
mean, I
journey?
would say we don't really have that many close mentorships. Like we do a lot of it on our own,
You
but
mentor each
No,
other,
we do.
right? It's like,
I would say like we've had some people who've given us some guidance,
yeah.
like Terry. And
Yeah, we worked with Terry from the Fit Expo. Like
yeah,
we worked with him on some things. Like he's hooked us up with some people to do some like screen printing. We've talked about doing some like sponsorships with him in the future for his retreats. So we work pretty close with Terry on a lot of things.
But I mean, when we were first, for instance, when we were first getting into doing some of the NPC shows, right? He's the one that introduced us to Whitney Weiser, and so
Yep,
I
he
know
got
this
us
goes.
connected with her.
I know that goes back to networking, but still, he's given us a lot of advice related to our clothing designs and
oh
the
yeah,
clothing aspect, the apparel aspect of our business. So, when it is incredibly helpful to have connections with people who know what they're doing and can give you that advice and that guidance so that maybe you can learn some things along the way. You don't necessarily make the same mistakes that they've made. So clearly that's very important, I think.
and
to
that's
have those
true. I mean,
relationships.
mentorship doesn't have to be like this in depth where you like sit down with someone. It could be someone like you said with Terry, which is an incredible individual, him and Roy, and it's like, hey, I need some guidance here, or they
Yeah.
network you, and it's just kind of like it's just something quick. But I think it's really incredible that both of you being co-owners of Body Bailout, that y'all work off each other so well. It's incredible.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's some business owners that it's. I mean, I see them, in the bank, and then just not just now, but in the past.
Oh yeah, you see
where
it in the bank
businesses will
for
break
sure.
up. Yeah, the business will break up because the owners either can't see eye to eye, or it's like when you have co-owners of a business that work off each other so well. I mean, it's incredible.
I think we do it like we're obviously friends too, but like I think we set all of that stuff aside and it's like we do what's best for the business, like it's not about what we want, it's about what the people that are like buying from our business and the people that are like engaged in our business. It's about what they want. So we do what's best for the business, not for us.
And there are times like Melissa said a few minutes ago, there are uncomfortable conversations. We do have those
but
times
we have
where,
them. Like,
yeah,
if something's bothering me, I go to her. If something's bothering her, she comes right
we
to
don't
me.
like
we
let
don't
it
hold it
fester.
in.
We don't like we talk about it.
Yeah,
and
it's
we
just
get it
like,
out there
hey,
and work through
like this bothered me. Let's talk about this right now. And
Yeah,
we just snip it there. That's it.
that's incredible. Okay, last word, and we're gonna wrap up. When others win, you win.
Absolutely. Like, I think I use that model all the time. Terry and I actually sat down in a coffee shop not that long ago and actually had that same exact discussion about like what we could do to help each other win, like we don't want to work against each other. We want to work with each other, because if you're winning, I'm winning too. Like everybody's eating a piece of the pie if we're all winning.
Definitely.
And we're always out there to help anybody that wants help, like if we're doing something well that they see and they want our help, we're always willing to help out.
No, definitely. Well, Delana and Melissa, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me and having some great conversations. I'm so excited. I look at your Instagram, social media all the time, and you're just doing so much incredible things, and not just having the business but you're pouring into people as well. And I like that the holistic aspect of we're just not going to say, hey, we'll help you with a fitness workout, but it's like depression and anxiety and diabetes and other ailments that people have, that you come at it in a holistic approach of let's really and maybe there's times where it could be like, hey, let's just pray. And so bringing
we have
that
a lot of
aspect
those
into
times.
it. Yeah, let's just pray. And I think a lot of times people are starving more spiritually than physically. And there's a lot of times people are chasing something that only Christ can fill, right? Because he's the only one that brings true fulfillment. And so having that holistic approach is incredible.
Thank you. Yep.
Definitely. Well, for those that are listening and those that are watching this on YouTube, I want to thank Delana and Melissa again from Body Bailout. If you are, how can they reach out to y'all on social media, website, all the things?
Just Instagram or Facebook at Body Bailout, like
body.bailout.
body.bailout on Facebook or body_bailout on Instagram. But if you just type in Body Bailout, it's going to come up on either one of them. Or you can go to our website, bodybailout.com, and there is a contact us section on there too that you can chat with us. And it is actually one of us chatting with you on our website too.
It will be. So
that is incredible. Well, thank y'all so much for spending time with me this evening. I really got a lot out of this conversation. You definitely added a lot of value. I like to tell myself all the time, like when I talk to somebody, and every so often you got to let your hair down, but for the most part, like when you have a conversation, I want to walk away with me adding value and me gaining value from that person or that conversation. And so much value was added this evening on our conversation. So thank y'all so much for spending time with me. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for having us.